let's chat a little bit about the next topic. The Need for Speed we'll chat about now. This game is obviously, it's a long running series. It's had some hits, it's had some misses, but it's one of those kind of ongoing series that is kind of expected, that will always be present in the racing genre. And the new game looks like it's going through a major transformation. Um, and I got to admit, Need for Speed Unbound is what it's officially titled. It's coming out this December. I was actually really, really impressed with it. I think the last one I played was, it was either Need for Speed Underground or Need for Speed One. No, Wanted was the one where the cops are chasing you. I think it was Underground, and it had some like live actions, like actors in it, and it was very like Fast and Furious, tuning your car and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. But that was a few games ago, and it feels like the series has never been at its height like it was in like the early 2000s, late 90s, when certainly I used to play the older ones, and it was like a staple. This was like the premier like racing franchise, arcade racing franchise. And then of course like Burnout came in, overtook all of it, and then things like Forza Horizon took it even further, and kind of left Need for Speed really kind of like flagging and trailing behind. But this one I'm actually really quite excited for because of the visual direction that it's going in. It looks like it's really changing up the aesthetic. It looks like it still has that kind of realistic cars, but then it's fused with like an anime graffiti kind of street style of art. And it looks like it could be really funky. It's almost following a vibe of what like Street Fighter 6 is doing, where the core kind of characters or the core kind of elements of the game are like the gorgeous 3D rendered graphics. And then like in Street Fighter 6, when you do like a special move, it's got these like graffiti flourishes of art just like painting across the screen. And it seems to be like Need for Speed is kind of falling into that vibe where you've got gorgeous cars, you've got the cell shaded animated characters, so it kind of stands out against the photorealism. And then you've got these like amazing like light trails and sparks and visual effects going on, which are like kind of graffiti art and painting going across the screen. So it looks like super cool. I'd love to get your thoughts on it. Let's start with Sarah.
Yeah, it does look super cool, doesn't it? I was watching the trailer and I sort of was like, I appreciate that the title of it is Need for Speed, but like the speed at which like you were seeing things in this trailer was just like, oh my god, this is nuts! Like it was so kind of like bam, 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 and I was like, okay, cool. Don't pull your punches. This is incredible. I don't know if I've ever owned a Need for Speed game. I think I've played it around at other people's houses. I've definitely played it in arcades. Like that's when I remember playing the most of it. And it's been a while since I played like this genre. Like I like to play like casual racing games, Crash Team Racing and Mario Kart and stuff like that. Like that's more what I would play regularly. But the kind of more photorealism style is not something that I ever have been into unless it's like hanging out with friends and we're kind of doing it as well as catching up. Like it tends to be definitely a casual, very casual style of gaming for me. But yeah, it looks really cool in terms of the like level of customization that you can do with the cars. And I actually really love this like cell shaded anime style, like
Yeah.
yeah, the big like billowing clouds of dust that going behind your car as you're driving through this incredible looking landscape that they've created. So
Right. The
yeah,
nitrous flames coming out of the exhaust and everything is
it's
it gives
so
them some
cool.
freedom to say, okay, it's realistic, but also it's arcade, it's fun, and you can be a little bit more kind of extravagant and over the top with
Mm,
all these other elements kind of fusing together.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm still not sure whether I would get it myself, but I would definitely be keen to play it. And then maybe if I got a little bit hooked on it, then I would probably buy it. But yeah, I'd probably want to give it a try before I actually thought about investing some money.
Definitely, definitely. Jamie, over to you.
Yeah, I the last Need for Speed game I got really into was probably Carbon, which I think was on the 360. Because I really enjoyed the customization element of making your own car, and you could do a lot with it. If I remember rightly, you could create your own decals and stuff to actually put on the cars and things like that. I have a sort of, well, not a love hate, like a love ambivalence relationship when it comes to racing games, because
Yep.
I do like, I'm always impressed by like the Forza series. I think is fantastic, but when I pick them up to play them, I just lose interest quite quick because essentially all I'm doing is just driving around, and
Yeah.
I don't really. It doesn't capture me personally. To play with friends, I'll play them for hours because there's nothing like racing against your buddies is really good fun. This looks fantastic, and this actually did sort of pique my interest, like to potentially pick it up and run with it. Love the graffiti type stuff. I love the fact that when you take a jump, there's little wings that are coming out of the car and things like that, little touches like that. Like it looks gorgeous. So yeah, I'm quite excited to see what it's like. Like Sarah said, I think I would want to give it a whirl before I necessarily picked it up because I don't know how much time I would put into it solo personally. But it does look fantastic. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I just had a thought there when you were talking about the customization of your cars. I remember, like in Forza, I think still does it, where you create your own livery or livery, I should say. I always mispronounce that. I always mispronounce that word, livery or livery, like stickers and paintwork on your car. And so, how cool would it be if they expanded upon that, where you could customize the effects that are going on around the car as well? Like you could. Like you had like a spray paint creator or something like that, where you could create like flames or trails or kapow or Shazam or those kind of like letterings,
oh,
and then however the system kind of reads that and brings it in to display it on the screen, it could be like your custom stuff. Like if you've done like a really sweet drift to take pole position or win the race, and you've slammed an enemy into the one of your buddies into the wall, you could set off one of these visual effects like a loser or something like that to really smack talking with the visual effects around the car. That could be really
That's
awesome.
awesome. I
Yeah,
love that.
it's just an
that would be
idea.
amazing.
Have that one for
Although,
free, devs. Have that one for free.
how long do you think it would take before that would get overtaken by people just drawing genitals? Because every time
2
there's been a
seconds.
custom thing in gaming,
I
I mean,
know.
the amount of like Black Ops call cards that I used to see, you look at it and go, what's that supposed to? Yep, no, I get it. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I want to be able to wheel spin, create a cloud in the shape of a penis. That's what I want to do. Basically, that's
It's
what I
what
want to do.
everyone wants to do.
I
Let's
know.
be
The
honest.
dream.
Yeah.
It is the dream. Or just have like a visual of a tea bag as you cross the finish line.
Oh,
Would be even
God.
better, right? Just a cup of tea and a tea bag getting dunked into the cup of tea, and then you've already done the job of your graffiti and the connection. There you go. We could go for
Need for
hours
Speed,
with this.
toxic.
Exactly. Exactly.